I've always said if it's going to be cold, it might as well snow. But the problem with that, snow can be a big pain when you're trying to get to places. Thankfully, with something like this, I don't have to worry about it. My coffee stays warm, my toes don't freeze, and my driveway gets completely cleared off with me never even stepping outside. It's kind of nice.
So this is what modern snowblowers look like, at least if they're robotic. This is the Yarbo Core and Snowblower. This is the cool system. Now I was sent this for test and review purposes, however, neither Yarbo or any PR agency or anybody will get any input on this video or see it before you, so it's new for everybody at the same time. This may not look like your typical snowblower. There's no handle, there's no push, there's nothing like that, because this is a robot, this is automated. This thing will go out and snow blow your driveway, sidewalks, everything you need on its own. You program it, it does it all for you. It's really great. So let's get into this thing and talk about what this thing can do. So I've been using this for a while. The snowblower, my first time getting to use it was this past weekend we had the storm roll through. However, the Core I've been using for about 9 months because I got this with the leaf blower as well as the lawnmower. So there are two different mowers for this thing. I reviewed the standard mower earlier in the summer, and later in the summer when they announced the Pro mower, which has a few additional features to it, depending on your property and what you're trying to do, that may be the better option for you. So I'll link all those reviews down below if you want to check those out, because this is a modular system. You get the Core, and then you buy different modules for the needs that you want. So we have the snowblower, leaf blower, regular mower, and Pro mower. Now, those are your three options. You swap these out to the Core, and it changes modes and has different features to it depending on what you're doing with this. So let's talk about the snowblower and what we get out of this thing. At its core, not this core, this core, we have got a 24-inch wide intake with up to 12 inches of snow that it can handle. Now, like most snow blowers, this is going to do better job handling with drier snow, less packed snow. When you get into wet and slushy stuff, snow blowers struggle. That stuff wants to bind up and get gummed up inside of this thing. It makes it tough for it to move it around. So to keep that in mind, as far as throw distance, this thing has got some serious power. We're working with this adjustable steel chute. It was plastic. When they released this newer blower, they did swap out this to a steel chute, so it does less clogging and less things like that happening to it. But with this, you can adjust the throw distance from anywhere from 6 to 40 feet. This thing is throwing some serious snow. So you adjust that by changing the chute opening at the top here. So if you've got a neighbor and you don't want to be throwing snow in the yard, you adjust this down. If you don't like them very much, you throw it all in their yard and make them clean it up. With that done. So this can handle some serious slopes. So we've got about a 36-inch slope, so it can handle some pretty good uphill, downhill-ish situations there. And all that's being done because we're looking at about 130 pounds or so with this entire setup. The tracks, when you buy the snowblower, it comes with a set of snow tracks. These are more aggressive rubber tracks with steel studs put in them to help the Yarbo get up and down slopes a little bit easier when it comes to things like ice and just dry, slick snow, so that helps out a lot. When you buy the Core, initially you get a set of turf tracks, which are great for leaf blowing and mowing your yard. We have got a dual stage throw system here. So we do have impeller and blades in here. So it does a better job of pulling snow in, not getting clogged up, breaking up chunks. So it can chuck that stuff wherever it needs to go. Up top, we have a paddle. This is good. Keep your hands out of this thing. It is dangerous. Use the paddle to get any binding snow up there, anything that's clogged in there. That's what that's for. We've got a guard on here to keep things from like big rocks and sticks from getting inside of it, so it's great. Also help from big chunks of ice maybe getting in there and causing issues with the snowblower. So we've got a guard up here, but this can be taken off. You can buy an additional attachment for it, which is going to give you a blade on the front of it. So if you just want to push snow out of the way, you can do that with this as well. And there is a plow mode in the app when you hook this up if you've got the plow on it. Sensors all the way around this thing. We've got lights on the front as well as cameras. There's ultrasonic sensors on it. So from a protection standpoint, if you walk up to this or there's people walking by, and it'll detect them and say person detected and stop blowing until they get a safe distance away, just to prevent any potential injury or damage happening to hurting a person. There's also a beta mode for a car mode. So if there's cars nearby, it'll detect the car and shut the blower off so it doesn't blow snow all over it or potentially damage the vehicle. So that's a really cool option there as well. That's the basics of this setup here. That's the basics of the snowblower. Let's get into talking about the app and how you control this thing and what all you get out of it. So because we're talking about a robot here, we don't control it with pushing it around like you do a standard leaf blower, snowblower, or whatever. This is something you're gonna let do itself, and you're gonna do it remotely. So whether that's doing it through the app, manually controlling through the app, there are tons of options to control this thing in the app. Like you control angle of the throw, you control the chute direction throwing it, you control the speed of the blower, you control the depth, you control all that stuff is all done from the app. But you can also program it to be all done automatically. But if you want some manual control and don't want to be using the app, you can use this Xbox style controller that comes with the Core when you get it. So this, you can use it to control drive this around on its own, whether you're mowing, leaf blowing, or snow blowing. You get control over that through this. With it, it's really nice. If you just want to handle some areas, want to quick, like I just got done cleaning off my driveway a little bit, where we actually drive through the concrete portion of it. Want to get a little more off that before it starts to freeze and turn into ice. So I use this. It's really nice just to do a quick area, run it through. You control the angle of the throw, the direction, the speed, height, all that is controlled through a remote. So it's really handy. But what really sets this apart is when you automate it. Using the app to control this, setting up schedules, you can go through and set up everything for it. It's really, really nice to be able to control this thing, set up in the app, and have it go out automatically for you. You can schedule it to run at certain times of the day. You can have do not disturb modes. All that is available within the app and controlling this. When you set up your areas, you set up where you want the snow to be thrown to, how fast, how high you want the blower deck to be set. All that is automated through the app. You set up and have it go. Ideally, you want this thing to run if you have a lot of snow coming down. You don't want it to wait until you got 12 inches of snow to go through. It's going to take it longer. It's going to do less of a good job because it's handling more snow. So if you've got a lot of snow coming down, schedule this thing to run. You get 3, 4, 5 inches down, run it every so often, just kind of keep it clear. You'll have a better product at the end of it when you're done. But the fact that you don't have to go out and blow the snow on your own in the cold is fantastic. If you want the kids to get out there and do a little bit of work, they want to play video games, right here. They get the same controller. They control this, keep your yard clean. Pretty cool function there. With that out of the way, I mean, this does a fantastic job of blowing the snow for you. It saves a ton of time, keeps you in the warm space, let your driveway get cleared off while you're inside, relaxing, working on other projects. All that can be handled for you. Let's talk about how well I think this actually does in the real world. Now, of course, all this sounds good on paper, right? It all sounds good in theory, and it should do a good job, and it should work well. Does it? Yeah, it really does. Now, I don't get a ton of snow here. Like, this is our first snowstorm we've had of the year. We got about 8 inches, and it's all very dry because it is extremely cold out here right now. But realistically, if you've got a concrete driveway, concrete sidewalks and all this stuff, this will do a far better job. I live on the country. I've got a small concrete pad right in front of my garage, but outside of that, I've got a gravel circle driveway and a gravel driveway that goes around my house, and it still does a good job. But you've got to take into consideration the terrain that you're working with. Now, this doesn't have an automatic floating deck. You're going to set the minimum height and it'll adjust as it needs to get through the snow. However, it won't go below the minimum. So if you got rocks in your driveway or tree roots or things like that that run across your drive, you're going to want to keep that in mind. As I'm going through my drive, I think I have this set at about 1.25 inches to maybe 1.5 inches on my driveway right here, just to make sure I get that top layer off. It's drivable for sure, but I'm not gonna worry about damaging things or getting into the gravel and putting ruts into that gravel driveway because I set this too low. So that is something to keep in mind. However, like I said, if you've got concrete, this does a great job. You can set that height and it'll nail it and get it completely clear, and it does a great job. It also clears off its own charging deck. So right now it's sitting on its charging dock. So this charges wirelessly, no contacts, no nothing, just like your phone, and put on a wireless charger. That's what this does. And it clears off the charging deck for itself before it parks to make sure it stays clear. It moves every so often to make sure it doesn't get stuck or things don't freeze up. It keeps itself warm. So this really is an all-in-one system to get your driveway, your area, your neighbors, whatever you want to do. This will take care of that snow for you, and it does a great job of doing it all. So if you have any questions, leave those down below. Be happy to answer any questions I can. This is the first round I've got to use this, so I'm still kind of learning a lot about this thing, but it does a great job. And if it's something that you've been having an eye on and wanting to know if it could work for you, I hope this helps you out. Look forward to seeing the next one. I got tons more videos coming up, so make sure you subscribe, hit that like button so you don't miss any, hit that bell icon so you know as soon as they come up, and you can watch those as soon as they're out there. Look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks for sticking around.